Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we are going to talk about investing in Dominican Republic. And the point that I want to touch tonight is do not invest here with emotion. And this video is sponsored by Dacier. Yes, I have worked with Dacier before. You have seen me making videos with this company before. I do love this company. And if it's your first time in the channel, if you don't know anything about Dacier, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the company. If you are already heard this before, you are gonna hear it again because they are wonderful. And they do their perfume inspired by popular brand name perfumes such as Carolina Herrera, Dolce Gabbana, and many, many more. And the best part is that they are very affordable, but the fragrances are very good. And they also have some candles that are also inspired by the same fragrances that they have. Like this one right here. You have to smell it. This one is Aromatic Star Anise. But it smells very good. And they also have a perfume that smells the same way. So just go and check the website and buy a few of them, not just one, but a few of them. So let's get started with this video. And again, I'm basing this video based on experience that I already have doing business here in the Dominican Republic, and also because I received many emails from people asking questions or also commenting their own experience. So again, the subject that I want to talk is do not invest here with your emotions. What I'm trying to say is, if for example, let me just make an example. I hear some people that they are coming over here because they are looking for a relationship, and then they say, okay, while I'm there, I'm just gonna start a business to make money. To me, I don't think that is a good idea. For you to start a business, if you really start a business now, if you want a hobby or you want to try something to see if it's work, if it makes some money, if you know it's fun, but if you call it a business, you need to make a business out of it. You need to put some time, you need to put some effort in it. Don't invest because you want to come and find love and find women and that, because you don't going to have time for business. What will happen in that case? If the relationship doesn't work, if you break up, if it don't happen, if she does something to you, the first thing is that the business is going to crash. It's going to crash because your first reason wasn't the business. Your first reason was that person or that relationship. And what happened next? That you don't understand anything about the business. Also, the business is going to fail. And what else? If she do something to you, the first thing that you're gonna do is when you leave, you have to sell the business, or you have to just close it, you have to give it away, or something happen. You will end up saying, I hate the country. I hate all Dominican women. They are all the same. They just all want your money. They all just want to take care of the entire family, or things like that. So it is no good idea, never, ever, to mix up these two. If you want a business, great. If you want a relationship, also great. Because there's nothing wrong to want a relationship about what you hear, or getting a relationship and then thinking about making money or making a business. It is a few things that you need to understand first before you are trying to open a business here. For me, you have to, first, you need to like the country. You need to understand the culture. At least you need to understand. I'm not saying that you have to be fully bilingual or you have to be fully Spanish speaking, but you at least need to understand a few terms or know how to ask some questions, have a conversation with somebody. And this point are just basic. I believe those are the basics that you need to the most understand. It is some other, or it's some more than that, like you need to understand the currency. So I mean some other things that you need to understand, but at least these three are very basic. Like for example, when I say you need to like the country. If you are investing over here, you need to like the country, because if you are investing, let's say you are investing in real estate, you have a place here, you have Airbnb, you have rental vacation places. If you have that place, of course, you're gonna have to advertise it somehow, even with your friends or some of the people. And if you don't like the country, you don't wanna come over here, I mean, how are you gonna do that? So at least you need to like the place. Oh yeah, the Dominican Republic, you have a good time and all that. So you at least need to like the place. The next point is you need to like the people. If you're gonna have an investment here, I'm assuming that you have to come to the country often, you have to spend some time here, so you need to like the people. because those are the kind of people, or those are the people that you're gonna be around all the time. You know, have to talk to, you have to do business. So for me, you need to like the people. So when I say you need to understand the language, so if you are investing in the country, you have a business, let's say you have a restaurant. Let's say that you don't work in the restaurant, but sometimes you're gonna come to your restaurant, you're gonna sit down, you wanna talk to the people that visit your restaurant, you wanna know how they feel. You can ask them how they are, how they feel in the restaurant, how is the food. The same thing if you have workers. So in some point you wanna talk to your worker. If something happens, you say, oh, how you doing? Or if you have a conversation, or if you wanna ask a question. So it's basic thing that for me, you need to understand and know if you want to open a business here in the Dominican Republic. So to give you an example, I know this couple, she was a foreigner, he was a Dominican, and they were in a relationship for a few years. So they decided to open a business. They decided to open a restaurant. They invested in the restaurant $50,000, and then after a while, the relationship, they had some problems, they broke up, and they decided to close out the business because she didn't want anything to do. She didn't want to be here anymore. She wanted to go back to her country. So she didn't have anybody that she can trust to run the business. So that the restaurant fell, and they sold it, and she went back to her country. That is one of the examples that you don't do your business based on emotional relationship. And remember, this video is sponsored by us here. I'm gonna leave the link in the description below, so just go and check them out. Another example that I have, and this one is not the same, or probably it's just not the same one that I was just talking about, but another emotional investment that I see and hear a lot here is when somebody have a Dominican partner, either wife or girlfriend or boyfriend, it can be both way, female or male, that when they are living still in their home country, they want their partner here to have a business because either they don't have a job, or it's difficult for them to make money, or they have to be supporting them, sending some money from time to time. So what they decide to do is, let's open a business for you to make some money. That way you can support yourself. Pretty much that's the idea. And what I find is, even though for me, now that I'm thinking about it, this one is a personal example, is that because I'm talking about now my mother, like when you have a family here, when you live over there, you want them to support themselves. When I opened the restaurant to help my mother, and the example that I want to give is, if they haven't never opened or run a business in their life, the business gonna fail. Even if you're trying to support them to make some money, that way they don't have to ask you don't have to call it an investment. Even if you are not expecting anything in return because you just want them to support themselves, that is an investment. And what I find is, if they don't know how to run the business can fail. And my personal example is my mother. That business that we did, the last restaurant, it was for her to support herself. But it was, one of the things is that she had never run a business before. And another thing, it was too much for one person to run it, even if it was a small restaurant, because you have to be the person cooking, you have to be the person that have to go and do the groceries, you have to be the person in charge of the money, be paying everything. I think I understand that it's a little bit too much restaurant for just one person, even if it's a small restaurant. So that's one of the things that you're doing based on your emotion, investment that you be doing in your emotion, that you also need to take in consideration. What kind of business are you doing? Do that person understand about, what do they understand about the businesses that are about to run? Are they capable to run that business? And things like that before you do those business or invest in those business based on your emotion. And remember, this video is sponsored by us here. I'm gonna leave the link in the description below, so just go and check them out. And another thing that I want to give you, I usually receive a lot of emails or comments about people that want to open a business for their again, spouses or boyfriend or girlfriend here. And it's nothing wrong about that. I'm not saying there is anything wrong about that, like beauty salon, barbershop, bar, or any other type of business like that. But what I'm saying is, before you do that, make sure or have this conversation with that person. Have they done run business before? Do they understand what is to run a business? That you have to, sometimes they haven't even have a job in their entire life. They don't know how is the ethic to have a job and to have a business. Like you have to wake up at the same time in the morning. Sometimes you have to wake up even earlier because you need to. You have some clients that come in early because you need to buy materials that you don't have in your job, because you have to go and run and buy this and buy that. So it's a lot of things that you need to understand, and you want to have those conversations with these people before you open a business, because it's a lot more into it. Just I want a business, I want to make some money, I want to have a, if it's good when you say I have a business, but it's more into a business than that. And I can understand that you hear, you know, or they know that it's very cheap probably to open up a business. It's cheaper than you would in any other country or even in the United States. But even though it's cheap, ain't nobody want to lose their money. Like let's say it is for like what we did to open my mom restaurant. I think that we invest 4,000 US. But even if you have to close the business or the business doesn't work, I mean, you don't want to lose your $4,000. So you are not in a business to lose money. You want to, if you are doing an investment, it's because you at least want it to work, or that person to make some money, not to fail and they say, oh yeah, that didn't work, that business wasn't good. No, sometimes it's not that the business wasn't good. Sometimes it's that that person doesn't understand the business and it wasn't able or capable to run the business or to understand the business or to make the business work. And another example that I have about opening a business, that some people do not understand about having a business or opening a business is, I don't know if you remember when I said that I have a beauty salon, that I did a video. When we sold that beauty salon to open our restaurant, I sold that beauty salon to my aunt and one of the hairstylists that work for us. And they kept the salon. They moved the salon somewhere else, but they kept the salon. But what happened with that beauty salon? My aunt don't understand nothing about doing hair, but the partner did. She was doing the hair. My aunt was the helper. But what happened with her? The person that know how to do hair. She wasn't coming into work every day because she was spending more time going out and drinking than putting time in her business. And she was coming sometime that she couldn't do anything because she was too tired, or she was just sleeping in the couch and she couldn't do what she do. So they started losing clients and the business wasn't doing good anymore. So they have to close the business. So what she's doing now, she's having working. She have to go back to work for somebody else. And she has been working for that place for about 3 years now. She even do my hair sometimes. And that's the thing that I don't understand. You have your own business. That was your business. Instead of putting more effort into your business to make money, have your own business, you wasn't putting no effort, doing anything to grow your business. And then you have to close your business and then find a job and work for somebody else. That don't make sense at all. And that is a great example. Everybody's businessman. Some people are just good be working for somebody else. So again, before you decide that you want to help somebody to open up a business, that you want somebody to be doing good and doing better, have that conversation. See how they like, see how they react, or what is their idea to have a business. It comes with responsibility. And it comes with a little effort. It's just not like, oh, I have a business, I'm gonna be making money right away. It doesn't work that way all the time. You don't be making money right away. Sometimes you have to work and work and work and make the business a business and then make money. Let me give you another example. This example is funny. And this one is, the business didn't fail for this reason, but this is just as funny because when we opened the restaurant, before we opened the restaurant, we did our research. Even though it fell for us, even though sometimes things are just, I don't know, but sometimes even when you do your research, you do the thing that you think that you are supposed to do, sometimes things doesn't work. And before we opened our restaurant, we visited a few places where we wanted the restaurant to see different area where we can put the restaurant. And we used to go to this place where was a lot of Italian guys, they have restaurants. So my husband used to see this Italian older man. He was just in the restaurant all the time, just sitting outside, just talking with people. And sometimes he have his drink on the side, just drinking. And that was the mind that he was having. He was just so happy that he was just seeing himself doing that, like sitting outside in my restaurant, just having a drink in the afternoon. Yeah. Almost, I would say never, but almost never happen. That just happened sometime in a Saturday or Sunday when it was very slow or was nobody there that was able to sit in the restaurant to have a drink. But other than that, when was the business day busy, we were working, or he was working like a slave. He was in a kitchen. From the time that we was there from at 9:30 in the morning until 11 p.m. Just with little break, like when it was slow moments, like we was in a college area. So when they was in a school, it wasn't that many people around. Yeah, probably was some downtime, but when it was busy, it was just working as a slave in the kitchen, just sweating and sweating all the time. He had just a few of those beautiful moments that he thought that he would have when he had his restaurant. It didn't work that way. So, well, I was about to talk about what ideas are good investment here in the Dominican Republic, but I realized this video is gonna be too long, so we're gonna make that my next video. So, again, don't do investment based on your emotion, because at the end of the day, if you do it based on your emotion, you're gonna end up losing your investment. This is a great place where you can do good investment here in Dominican Republic, but don't do it based on your emotion. Do it based on because you wanna invest, because you wanna make some money. Do your research in what you wanna invest. Do your research if you wanna do your investment to help somebody else. Try to know how they are based on having a business, what kind of person they are, if they are good for business. Do your research either for your business or for the person that you want to do business with before you do anything, because you don't want to lose your investment. And I want to remind you again, this video is sponsored by Dacier. And Dacier is a great perfume brand, very affordable. Go and check their website. They have some good prices. It goes from $29.99. Sometimes they have 40% off. Not because I'm doing this video, because they are sponsoring this video. It's because they really are a very good brand. So go and check out the website, order some perfume, and make us happy. So that is all what I have right now. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!